OK, moving on, we've got the Telegraph with bad news for anyone who shaves their kids' heads to skip the queue at Disneyland, Paul.
Good grief. Disneyland clamps down on visitors who pretend to be disabled to jump queues. Disneyland has announced it is overhauling its rules because visitors are abusing the system by pretending to be disabled in order to skip the lengthy queues.
And this was a plot line in The Office.
It absolutely was. And of course, you know, with 99% of disabilities being invisible, this is a very difficult job, isn't it?
Yeah, but surely the invisible ones probably don't, you know...
Need to queue jump.
Yeah, you don't need to queue jump if it's an invisible...
Well, if you feel sad, you might want to get to the front.
Yeah, but it's tripled in the last 5 years, the queues, so they had to do something. People obviously were abusing the system, but then at the same time, you've had mental health issues also tripling during that time, and because it's not what we would traditionally think as disabled people and wheelchairs and whatnot who can't queue up, who need a bit of help, and also when this is their family time out. But you've got people who are sort of saying, oh, they have mental issues that they can't handle being in a queue for an hour and a half. Well, try queuing up with 5 kids for an hour and
also,
see
how do you think you're going to cope with a roller coaster? If you don't like the queue, the roller coaster goes upside down, and it's basically a queue that you can't get out of.
I did Thorpe Park this week, actually.
Was it fun?
Do you know, I went on all of the scary rides. This is not necessarily my thing, but you do queue a lot. I loved it, by the way. It's exhilarating, and there are other amusement parks available, and I'd like to go to them free, so if you're interested in sending me tickets, that's cool. But sorry, what were we doing? But I mean, this is difficult, isn't it? Because there was a time when it was clearly obvious why somebody was being fast-tracked, and that's fantastic because they've been giving an opportunity. Now, of course, I do understand. The point of my little anecdote was that, you know, I did queue for an hour here and an hour there, and you'll spend, you know, so much money, and all day you'll get on about 5 rides because, you know, 6 or 7 hours of that can be queuing. So I understand what the problem is. But the other way to get around it is to pay fast track.
Yeah,
you can
pay for
do
fast track.
Yeah, you can.
When there's loads of you. But I was going to say, I believe Ken Loach is going to be doing a movie about this, because they're going to be questioning people's disabilities, and so someone's going to unfairly...
Right. Yeah. Daniel Blake, want to
go to Disneyland.
Disney. We've got the